Since we were waiting for some parts to arrive at Osprey Marina, we decided that rather than spend an extra night there waiting, we would just spend an extra night here in Calabash Creek. It's been pretty settled weather, so it hasn't been a big deal. And we are now ready to head to Osprey, so we're going to do that today. This section from here at Calabash Creek to Osprey Marina and through Myrtle Beach, I would not recommend doing on the weekends. We did that coming north in the spring, and like immediate regret. There is a ton of small boat traffic through this area, especially on the weekends. So keeping that in mind, you're going to want to be pretty alert to what's going on. This area is known for a lot of jet skis also, and they are all rentals. Take that as you will. In terms of potential issues today, we've got 3 bridges, all of which open on demand, but they all have high wind potential not openings. We aren't at that level today. I think we're only gusting to maybe 15 right now, so that should be fine. There is one fixed height bridge that is one of the lowest on the entire ICW. This section is known for flooding, and when it floods, this bridge can be as low as like 60 or 61 feet. It's insane. So you will find a lot of people will exit the ICW here and go down to Charleston or that kind of thing if they are higher air draft. We don't have that issue. Even if it is like 60 feet, we should be just fine. The other major issue is the rock pile, which is a very narrow section of the ICW that's flanked on either side by like granite or limestone rock. So if you come head on to a barge in this area, you're not going to have a very good day. So a lot of times people will run a security call before they head through that area. We will get to that area very early this morning and at high tide. So I am just going to toss in some footage from our way north when we finally actually saw what it looks like at low tide, because the other 2 times we've come through at high. So it does not seem very scary at all when you go through at high tide, and then you go through at low tide and you're like, holy shit. This could go very, very poorly. So when we go through that section, I will be supplementing with some footage from earlier trips through. So you may just be a little confused about direction and why we're going one way in some shots and another way in other shots. So that's why. We are approaching Little River Swing Bridge, which is the first bridge that we are going through today. Here in South Carolina, the bridge channel switches from 13 to channel 9, and you will hear a lot of folks hailing bridges on 13 out of habit because it is 13 most of the way north from here. And so we just got to remember we got to switch to 9 before I hail them.
So today is a work day on Acadia. Gwen's working on videos, and I am working on the transmission. Our transmission is leaking oil. I think it's leaking out of the input shaft, and possibly the output shaft, because there's like a bunch of oil on the bottom. So I have Beta Marine sent me both seals, a new nut, and sent me the manual to tell me how to do it. So that's going to be my project for the day. Should be pretty straightforward. Disconnecting the shift cables from the transmission, sliding the prop shaft back, and removing the 6 bolts that hold it to the bell housing. He assures me that it's easier than changing the manual transmission in a car, which is not that hard. So we'll see. So this nut right here is torqued to 115 foot-pounds. So it's going to take more than that to get it off. I don't have an impact wrench just to zing it off. So we're going to use this socket, this wrench, this adjustable wrench, tightened down to the flange, this aluminum tube, which is our emergency rudder, as a cheater bar. And so we don't mess up the deck, is sitting on a flip-flop back here, and sitting on another flip-flop up here. This is going to require both of us, me to hold the socket on and Gwen to push. So let's see how this goes. So here's the flange. It's got a little bit of rust around the seal surface from where that saltwater leak was at some point, and that's probably what chewed up this seal and why it's leaking. But the other thing they told me to watch out for is that if this is all mushroomed here, because it was out of alignment, extremely out of alignment, he said this will get mushroomed and then it would like start to wobble. But that is absolutely perfect right there. So that's good news. And I'll clean this up with a little bit of Scotch-Brite.
So just straight down.
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it. That's it.
That was easy. That was much easier than getting it off.
And then I took my hammer. Just like smack it and stake it. So as you can see, my transmission repair has been successful. I got the new seals installed, got it reinstalled onto the back of the engine, and got the propeller shaft back hooked up. And everything's working perfect. We got forward, reverse, and everything in between. We just left Osprey Marina in Myrtle Beach, and we're headed down to Georgetown. And this is one of my favorite sections of the ISCW because it's just like, for the most part, pristine, undeveloped swamp. I love it. It's a big contrast to Myrtle Beach and all the mansions and the McMansions around there.
We are here in Georgetown, South Carolina. The anchor is down. This anchorage is not the most scenic you will ever be in, but the town here is super cute. The anchorage itself The mud is super soupy here, which means that you have to be really slow and methodical when you put the anchor down. There's usually like, it's like very, very, very thin mud at the top. And like once you let the anchor kind of settle in, then it'll grab pretty well after that. But it is very well protected in here. We are a little bit less protected than we typically are when we stop here, but there are a lot of extraneous boats hanging about. We are going to go into town. We are trying to get to the bakery before it closes at 5 because the Indigo Bakery here in Georgetown is worth the stop in itself. It's one of the best bakeries, I think probably on the East Coast. It's delicious. So they close at 5. It's like 4:10 right now. So we are going to go haul butt into town to go get us some baked goods.
You need to get a seal out and you can't get to the back side to pry it out. Drill a small hole in it. Take a screw. Screw it into the hole.